Your host today is Johannes Scott with Car Design News. I would now like to turn the conference over to Ms. Scott.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for joining us today for the first in a series of webinars from Car Design News. My name is Johannes Scott, and I'm the group editor here at Car Design News and Interior Motives magazine. Before I introduce today's presenters, just a brief reminder about proceedings. The presentation will take about 30 minutes, followed by the Q&A session for another 10 minutes or so. Please make the most of our presenters today and post questions at any time, and we'll try to answer as many as possible in the Q&A slot. So I'd now like to introduce our speakers from real-time 3D visualization technology company RTT. We have with us Michele Hess, the Creative Director of Virtual Material Concepts for RTT's Research and Development. Michele is based in Pasadena, California, and also with us from RTT's Munich office in Germany is Strategic Product Development Manager Marian, responsible for RTT's Picturebook, Powerhouse, and Deltatex range of software. Michele, if I could now pass over to you.
Thank you, Joanna. So in this session, we'll be addressing the what, the why, and the how concerning materials research at RTT. The what we are doing is materials research. Throughout this process, we ask the question, can these material trends influence new business ventures, concepts, product developments, or services for our clients and our own R&D purposes, all with an emphasis around a material-centric process and with the objective to help our clients communicate their material expertise. Now we'll look at one example of how we utilize a 5-step methodology process to gain insights around materials and tell a story around both physical and virtual materials. As we walk through these 5 steps, I'll pause briefly to allow the video to buffer, and then I'll explain. Again, in this video, we'll walk through the 5 steps, looking at the methodology process to gain insights around these materials. Here we're looking at material interaction, physical materials, which will then lead us to virtual applications and virtual materials. We'll now move on to step 1, and I'll wait briefly to let the video buffer. In step 1, we identify a material trend through secondary research, be it the web and publications, and also through primary research, which are interviews. We conduct interviews with design professionals across multiple industries who are practicing innovation around physical materials, applications, and processes. We do this in conjunction with Art Center, College of Design's Color Material Trends Exploration Lab, SIMTEL, here in Pasadena, California. We start to gain an understanding of what types of topics, trends are being discussed and explored in various design communities. Now moving on to step 2, where we identify physical materials. Again, I'll wait briefly to allow the video to buffer. So in step 2, we identify the physical material or materials that are on the forefront of material innovation and that embodies the material trend revealed in step 1, where we conducted the primary research. Moving on to step 3. In step 3, we create virtual materials and virtual applications. Here we see in step 3 a virtual shoe with various materials applied to it and a virtual splash on concrete. Moving on to step 4. In step 4, we tell a complete visual narrative, bringing steps 1, 2, and 3 all together to tell the story. Again, step 4, we're telling the complete visual narrative bringing all the steps that we previously discussed. And now moving on to step 5. Again, waiting a brief pause to allow the video to buffer. And here in step 5, we create a 2D research roadmap as a foresight tool to help identify insights for further exploration in the world of materials. Now moving on. Why are we even talking about virtual materials? By looking at and understanding physical material trends, we're able to start to explore the world of virtual materials in a meaningful way because we're able to connect our virtual creations to a larger context. We'll look at one material trend example as we see it here, reimagined, giving everyday materials a second life. Thinking about repurposing materials, we can look at common packing materials as we see here, the laser cut paper on the top and the bubble wrap below. By choosing these two materials, we look at what they are to help drive future applications, keeping in mind this concept of material-centric process where the material dictates the form versus the form dictating the material. By using our software DeltaGen, we're able to then look at the next slide and we can visualize the materials as virtual lighting applications. As a product designer, you could start to virtually prototype new virtual applications with known materials to then work with your manufacturing suppliers to develop these new lighting applications. Through this process, again, the objective is to understand a trend, extract what material could embody this trend, and then create a virtual application to help visualize future concepts. As we advance to the next slide, again, we can see the physical bubble wrap in the upper left-hand corner, the virtual bubble wrap right below it, and then the virtual prototyping of bubble wrap as a lighting application. By utilizing virtual prototypes with material manufacturers to help drive innovation when developing the physical lighting materials and final product, this helps as part of the ideation process and visualization process. Now I'll pass it over to Marian.
Thank you very much. Hello everyone, great to have you here. I'm right now continuing about the how. So what we see here is a slide process about how material suppliers and product designers are working together. Material and product design are constantly changing. Product design is getting more and more virtual, and as a matter of fact, material design as well. By looking on the abstract workflow of today's collaboration between product designers and material suppliers, we see that this workflow is a rather complex process. Here's something going wrong, unfortunately. Just to continue on that, because I think there's a little problem with the presentation, one of the product design duties, and also for color and trim departments, is the evaluation of materials which they need for the forthcoming new products. Designers are confronted with a huge variety of materials in an even growing market. Consumers are demanding innovative and fashionable materials, and it is obvious that trend analysis and material determination are claiming increasing efforts and costs for both product designers and material suppliers. Until now, the material supply chain has rarely reflected the actual need of virtual prototyping and design, which results in increasing risk for all participants. We see a missing link between real materials and their virtual representations, which lead to wrong expectations during material determination and virtual design stages. Up to now, an instant tryout of real material on a virtual scene is not a given and needs manual work to reflect its virtual counterpart. Also, we see a discrepancy of color and surface structure of a real versus its virtual material caused by manual VR emulation of the given material. Finally, we also need to take into consideration feasibility for product engineering and manufacturing. This is crucial as well. RTT addressing all of these needs by providing products and solutions along the virtual asset life cycle. The virtual asset life cycle is subdivided into 3 major fields. These cover the creation, authoring, collaboration, and use of virtual models. We provide in the area of creation RTT DeltaGen. RTT DeltaGen, our flagship software for visualization, including data preparation, virtual prototyping, and design. Another visualization software is RTT DeltaTex. This is a tailor-made solution for material designers, color and trim, and styling experts. RTT DeltaTex allows physical and digital materials to be instantly applied on any given 3D real-time DeltaGen model. This means that they can try out several material design combinations in the blink on an eye. Collaboration inherits, for example, project-relevant activities as well as the general management of related virtual assets. Assets can be part of a product based on CAD data from engineering, virtual materials to be used in design, and also derived assets such as print media and movies. RTT PictureBook supplies a visual guided asset management for this purpose. And with the viewer software RTT DeltaView, we enable real-time 3D DeltaGen scenes to be easily reviewed. Both RTT DeltaGen and RTT DeltaView are linked to RTT PictureBook to allow central storage and intuitive scene compositing. Last but not least, we provide standard and customized solutions to reuse 3D models for production of derived assets, for example, movies and print media for marketing and sales. Let's have now a closer look on the current situation and how our customers and RTT are addressing the needs of virtual product and material design. All right, wait again for getting the buffering for the movie, and then we have insight of how RTT PictureBook is working and how it is used with RTT DeltaGen. Okay, I hope everything gets the movie buffered. I will start. With RTT PictureBook, you can organize your assets in folder structures and allow access via user rights. You have different ways to view your assets in a folder, simply any type of media from virtual prototyping towards marketing. What you see here right now is the different viewings, like detail views or cover flow, for example. And you can also easily rank your lists or customize your tables. Collaboration is a very important feature of RTT PictureBook. Each user can rank assets, and PictureBook provides own rankings as well as the average ranking for all users. Viewing of assets is provided in place, and also sketching and annotation, what you see here right now, for feedback loops during design. This information is linked to the asset and can be viewed and commented at any time. Also, the comparison of assets as well as to share content between several PictureBook servers worldwide is available, which brings companies which are having several distributions around the world closer together. RTT PictureBook allows, in combination with RTT DeltaGen, our 3D real-time authoring tool, direct scene compositing. You can access PictureBook directly from RTT DeltaGen to apply materials and parts instantly to the scene, what you see here right now in the movie. As you can see, a powerful support for virtual prototyping and design. In the past, Color and trim departments were not able to instantly try out new materials on 3D real-time models. Matching and combining materials, textiles, fibers, leather, and so on required a lot of manual work. RTT DeltaText changes this. The software is intuitive and workflow-oriented. Material designers, color and trim, and styling experts can flexibly apply physical materials to digital product models in real time, but also virtual material libraries can be accessed. Again, I'm waiting for the movie so I can show you how RTT DeltaText is working. Okay, hopefully everyone gets the movie buffered. RTT DeltaText helps them to facilitate and accelerate material determination. It allows to work via touchscreen and helps to navigate easily through the virtual scene. Virtual material libraries can be accessed directly for assignment onto the 3D scene. You can apply virtual materials via drag and drop to a part of a model and create different material variants easily. Real material requirements a lot of manual work to be transferred to the virtual scene. RTT DeltaText allows through live texture capturing instant tryout of real materials to gain a good impression and to ease the determination process. Captured materials will be added automatically to a virtual material library for later usage. And as you can see, real material determination has never been so easy as it is with RTT DeltaText. And finally, it brings virtual prototyping and color and trim departments closer together. As mentioned before, today's material supply chain does not reflect the overall need of virtual prototyping and material design. RTT PictureBook allows virtual materials to be organized and managed within libraries as well as 3D data, for example, parts of a product or the whole prototype. We also created specific solutions in close cooperation with our customers to take their needs of material design into account, as we did here in the example we see in the next movie with Adidas. I'll again wait for the buffering. In this customer scenario, we integrated virtual material libraries into RTT DeltaGen. The designer can access these libraries directly. PictureBook is connected with a PDM system, and its rules control the design workflow and released materials and assure proper product design. A virtual material is represented through 5 categories, for example, surface or color, and can be adjusted by the designer in predefined ranges, which lead to an intermediate result. For example, what you see here, the bump map or the height of it gets changed by the user. Another step is, for example, coloring. The user can access similar to previous material surfaces libraries of RTT PictureBook controlled by the PDM system. Search and sorting allows a quick find of colors. Those colors can be assigned to the different parts of a product to finalize the design. As a matter of fact, this solution speeds up design and decreases costs and efforts effectively. Finally, let's have a look how we anticipate the future of virtual design and virtual materials. The process between material suppliers and product design will be extended so that the material suppliers are also in charge to provide the virtual counterparts of their materials. This integration will assure a proper mapping of materials to be used in virtual reality, for example in terms of color correctness. Additional, by providing the material in central libraries, search and determination efforts will be decreased and strengthen collaboration between all parties. Both parties will benefit of this change so that only dedicated real material probes will be ordered and not the entire material collection. To sum it up, the advancement of the current material supply chain to become a virtual material supply chain will reduce risk and cost for all participants. Well, that's all for the moment from my side, so let's proceed with the Q&A session. So, Michele, I got a question from one of our attendees. The question number one is, what other types of material trends are you tracking for further exploration?
So other physical material trends that we're tracking so that we can further explore them in the virtual space are three of them that come to mind. Interactive, and this is relating to materials which play off the interaction of light, shadow, and the human touch. Secondly, smart materials, and these are materials that have a layer of intelligence to them. So that would be such materials that react to the elements such as rain or heat. And lastly, the third one that we're tracking is this concept of artisanship, and this is where manufacturing techniques, mass marketing, or mass production techniques to mimic a handcrafted feel. So if we look at some of the other questions, Marian, one for you would be the material supply chain looks different depending on the industry. In the mobile phone industry, for example, the product manufacturer defines the material design and offers a request for proposal to all material suppliers. How is this reflected?
Well, it is not so different as it seems. Only the direction of communication changes a little bit. The material design department of a manufacturer using 2D authoring tools such as Photoshop for my best knowledge. The material design represented through images or e.g. Photoshop files, including additional material characteristics, can be stored inside RTT Picturebook and its virtual material library. RTT Picturebook can afterwards be used by allowing access for material suppliers to such informations. This eases the process of requests for proposals. And again, the collaborative power of RTT Picturebook helps to work closely together. Everything else will be similar to the abstract process shown previously. Well, I hope that helps. And at that end, I'm looking for another question for you, Michele. What I have here. Okay, how could RTT's visualization tools be used in the color material finishes design process?
So for the CMF design process, there's two things that initially come to mind. The first one, I could see using Delta Text as a tool, as a quick ideation sketch tool for CMF designers, especially in OEM automotive studios. Typically, the CMF is placed with trans designers, and so if you're around a lot of sketchers and you're not a sketcher yourself, then for me, I know Delta Text has been useful to do a form of sketching visually very quickly to run through maybe several 10 to 100 different materials for ideation. And I think secondly, I could see creating virtual mood boards to help communicate a design concept. So these boards could complement physical material samples that are on boards, and then you could apply materials on various products to help complement what you're seeing in the physical world. So as we continue on, Marian, question for you would be, scanning material is not an easy task. Simple material such as monocolored textile is not the problem, but how do you address reflective, transparent, or multi-layered materials?
That's a good question, yeah. Actually, RTT is investing heavily into research to address those needs. A standard solution to scan complex material is unfortunately not on the market, but we are going step by step forward to reach this goal. At the moment, we are working on a solution for color calibration on input and output devices to assure color correctness. Additionally, we are evaluating different light and scanner setups to transparent and reflective materials. Finally, our shader workbench, the basis for all virtual materials, allow flexible definition of material characteristics to assure proper visualization. Finally, to say, we are having already technology in the house, but this is really a research topic, and to be honest, I think it will take more time, I guess minimum a year, that we have a scanning technology there which can address such complex materials properly when scanning, and just having that on the real, on the 3D model. For now, we have to scan the different layers of the material, for example, and then map them together in what we call a shader, so the virtual material representation. Well, I hope this answer helps to this question sufficiently. For the moment, I have a look on my list if there's another question for you, Michele. Here we have it. How could a designer researcher use virtual visualization in identifying new business opportunities relating to materials?
So, as it relates to that question, and being a design researcher, I could see where one could identify a key material trend, as we talked about in the very beginning, as far as using their own methodology, be it primary or secondary research, and then identify key material trends for their particular industry. And then through that, they could then use virtual prototyping to show how the future might look. So an example of that might be, meaning if interactive is a material trend in their industry, and then say it's being used in a particular way in the architectural world, they could start to virtual prototype how that same material could be used in other industries in a different scale. For example, take that same material and virtually apply it to a consumer electronics product. And I think the key message here is the ability to showcase the same material in different scales through virtual prototyping across multiple industries, and that would then help the design researcher identify possibly new ventures where they could work with their material supply chain to develop new materials, or maybe retrofit existing materials into their product of choice. Let's see, I know we have about maybe 10 more minutes left, so moving on to the next question for Marian. This would be, RTT Picture Book provides ways for collaboration for 2D assets. Design check and reviews usually use 3D also. How is this addressed?
Well, as mentioned in the product portfolio overview mapped to the virtual asset lifecycle, we provide with RTT Delta View a product for review purpose. Modules supporting design reviews such as Presenter, a special front-end to easily interact with the 3D scene, or for example Analyzer, which allows field view, view field or gap analysis are available. Sorry. Additionally, With our upcoming release of RTT Picturebook, we provide the possibility to review 3D scenes remotely, so that participants of a review session do not need special hardware locally. This will be empowered through our other product, RTT Powerhouse, which is providing services in a network environment. If you need more information, feel free to contact us. Contact information can be accessed on our website, www.rtt.ag. So, well, do we have any other questions left, Michele? Because I just have a look on the...
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through the questions now. It looks like there's a technical question that I think that you could answer.
Okay.
Can Delta Text be used with Autodesk's 3D Max or Showcase in any way?
Honestly, not at all. RTT Delta Text is a special brand using RTT Delta Gen render engine. But what you can do is you can use the 3D data provided by Autodesk or Showcase, convert them into CSV files of Delta Gen, and then use it with Delta Text. I think this answers the questions quite easily.
Right. And as I'm scrolling through, it looks like there's one from a product designer. This is actually for myself. It says, "Good morning, Michele. I'm a product designer and I also live in Pasadena. Is there a materials library in the West Coast? If yes, where?" Unfortunately, there is not a material connection like in New York on the West Coast, but since we are in Pasadena and you are a product designer, you might be familiar with Art Center College of Design, which I'm sure you are, but their SimTel lab does house quite a bit of physical materials. And so I think that it would be something where you could approach the college, SimTel, and I know a lot of OEM color material finish designers utilize that space, and so it's a matter of contacting SimTel directly and seeing if you can come in and explore their library. And they also do design storms where your company could come in and create a design brief and then interact with students and explore materials in that way.
Okay, I got some more questions which I can answer. So we have here questions regarding RTT Picturebook, if this is available in India as well. Of course, you can purchase RTT products in India also. We don't have a selling office there right now, but if you contact our headquarters in Munich, you get the connections and you can purchase our products also additional as the services. The other thing is about RTT Picturebook was the question if there's any download where they can download RTT Picturebook. To be honest, it is a server product, so you need a server for that. But if you want to have more information about our products, please refer to our webpage and stay in contact with us, and then we will provide you all information you need to get in touch with our products and solutions. Do you have anything else, Michele?
I am scrolling through now, and because there are a lot of crossover questions relating to Picturebook, so I think you've addressed that.
I get another one here right now with Delta Text.
Okay.
As far as I can see it. A second. How often do the materials in the Delta Text are updated? Well, to be honest, Delta Text does not update the materials, so if you scan materials or capture materials with RTT Delta Text, you update your own libraries and you take care about your all virtual material libraries stored in Picturebook. So it's up to you as a designer or up to your company to take care that the materials you use within the design process to be managed and in this terminology to be updated in your libraries.
Okay.
So it is not something RTT is providing a big bunch of virtual materials, because this is really different from each industry. We have some standard look libraries, how we call them, which are provided with RTT Delta Gen, but usually in the design process, as we said about trend analysis, there must be new materials designed, which then can be used with a 3D model, and this is something you store inside Picturebook.
Okay. I think we have time for probably 2 more questions. I see 2 that we could answer. One for you, Marian. Is there specific hardware required for your software?
Well, to be honest, yes. If you're using, for example, RTT Delta Gen or RTT Delta View, you need a specific graphic card from NVIDIA that the rendering is done in real time. The technical part of it is the up-to-date GPU which is used is a G80 chip, and the other thing is, like, from an operating system perspective, we are providing our software on Microsoft operating systems, whereas things like PictureBook or Powerhouse, which are web applications, or the front ends from them are web applications, are just using a browser, though you can access PictureBook, for example, with a Mac as well as under Linux or Microsoft also. But if you need more information about system requirements, the same game, contact us on our website, and we will provide all the information you need.
Okay. I do see one last question here. From a design student's point of view, what is the actual academic way to end working in this material and texture virtual representation field? I think the question there is, you know, if you are currently enrolled as a design student, then how to utilize or how to access maybe the RTT Delta Gen software.
Yes, I think so too. On the one hand, we have a RTT open website where everyone can access information, especially there's an exchange platform for universities, and we have also programs with universities where they can use our software for the study purpose. Depending on that question, of course, I don't know on which university this person is right now, but he can just ask us as well through the website if he needs help. I think we can give him a helping hand so that he can have access also to our software if he wants to use it in the academic way. Okay.
I know here in Pasadena, again with the Art Center College of Design, in their specifically transportation department, and then they've actually acquired some licenses that students can come on site on campus and utilize the software and use it that way as well. I think it just depends on the university or college that you're attending as well. So I think, unless Marian, you see any others, then I might turn it back over to Joanna.
Yes, I think so. I mean, if there are questions left, Michele, sorry to interrupt you, I think we can then afterwards answer them in a block.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks for all the questions today. Also, my thanks to Michele and Marian at RTT for their insightful talk into developments in the area of materials design and visualization. We'd appreciate your feedback on today's webinar. If you could take a moment to answer the 2 questions, they should pop up on your screen before logging out. Also, please feel free to provide your comments via the Car Design News forum. And if you'd like to review this webinar again in the future, all attendees should be emailed a link in the next few days. And we'll also post a link to the tutorial section of the CDN website in the next few days. And you'll find details there about all our forthcoming webinars too. So thank you for joining us today, and we hope very much to see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude today's Car Design webinar. We would like to thank you once again for your time today, and you may now disconnect.